Dre and Dave hit it hard in the dark, spinning tales from the void never bark. Movie shows, they tear apart, dimensions clash, they ignite the spark. Couch debates, turn the volume up, set the chaos over for the cup. Alien worlds and twisted scenes, banter spreads like electric dreams. Outer dimensions ride the wave, trying days that flames ablaze, discussing bits and cosmic plays. Beyond the stars they find their praise. They find their praise. Ripping through the deep.
Hey guys, welcome back again to another episode of the Outer Dimensions podcast, the channel, the podcast where a bunch of guys, we just smash things up, we smash it up, we talk about movies, TV shows, and much, much more. And guys, as always, my co-host, my brother, my partner in crime, Dre the Geek Dad, the one true tribal chief of the Outer Dimension podcast. Acknowledge him.
Eat.
Dre's a wrestling fan, so we got it. We
I had to do it.
I respect that. I got some wrestling in my background as well. My
Nice.
daughter's a huge fan, so
got some
I
race.
have to catch most of the pay-per-views. So
Nice.
Are they even pay-per-views anymore? But guys,
oh
welcome
yeah,
to
they're
Curtis.
what do they call them? Like PLEs?
PLEs, yeah, they're premium
PLEs.
live events.
Yeah.
They're basically DLCs. Let's be honest.
They really are.
And welcome Curtis, Art by Ackerman, first time on the Outer Dimension podcast.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
for coming on. And guys, just anyone who's watching this live or on the replay, just take a moment, look behind them, look at those glorious detoffs, all those majestic figures, and
Yeah.
then take a moment to think of the memory of his wallet.
I had a bunch of them that had fallen over, but my wife must have picked them up. We had some electricians here the other day that had to replace some of our outlets, and when I moved the one detox, all my vampires fell forward. So
Is the
Ooh.
detoff still in one piece?
oh yeah, it
Okay,
was fine.
There we go.
Yeah, it was just
So
the figures fell.
let's start off. We got some guests. We got Terrence Next Toys. I'm here to make a statement. I have no idea what that statement is, but I'm determined what it is. I plan to make it here. And then of course
Alright.
he put us on notice, and we accepted that notice. Notice has been received. There you go. We got Master Kykelius saying, "Hey guys, we got Kenzo's Creations.
Mr.
Hey,
Curtis.
Curtis, go
Kenzo?
Broncos."
Yeah, he's a Broncos fan.
No,
I'm a Raiders fan, so
Okay,
he's gonna give me shit.
should we just ban?
Yeah.
Should we ban him now?
I mean, at least silence him or something. I don't know.
You're on punishment.
Go Bills.
Hey, at least y'all can go Giants. Even I'm not even in New York anymore. Go Giants.
Yeah, but the Giants aren't even a New York team.
That's debatable.
They play in New Jersey. So do the Jets.
Joycey.
You play it. Listen, when you play in the shithole, the armpit of the universe, can't help it.
Yeah, everyone's saying hello. We got Kent Poole in the chat.
It's my guy, Ken
Is
Poole.
this live?
I love some
We-
Ken Poole.
Always
We
live.
we know someone else who says that. Is this live? The Sasquatch?
Exactly, Mr. Blue,
Yeah.
our Canadian.
We have a Canadian Sasquatch who comes through and always says, "Is this live?"
Mm.
So
Yeah, Kent hits up all the streams that I'm in and is always asking if it's live. Dude, his toy hunts are so great.
Is he
I
a
love,
stalker?
I love
Is he your
some Kent.
stalker?
He might be.
I mean, is it like admirer, stalker? I mean, either which way you look at it. I mean, it depends on the degree of law at that point.
Well, I mean, Sharon Stone.
Creepy
I
or
wouldn't
is it a-
complain
is it
about
a-
her being my
It
stalker,
definitely
but
goes both
hey.
ways, 'cause I can't get enough of him either. I got him.
Hey.
I got
Oh,
I got the membership and get the early access to the toy hunts and
Damn.
love that.
That's love
Are,
right
are
there.
you signed up for the Patreon and his OnlyFigs page?
I don't think he has a Patreon. I think I got the Only Feats. Yeah, he definitely has that going. So,
Oh my.
Yeah, I don't know who's watching like the Hot Wheels and the Matchbox when he gets to those. Like, you could probably skip those in the toy hunt, but yeah, I don't know. You guys, car guys?
No, I'm not.
I had Hot Wheels when I was a kid. Hot Wheels and Matchbox when I was a kid. You know, so many decades ago. Jesus.
My son got into that. Like when he was real little, he got into like the Disney cars, and then he got the Matchbox, and then his uncle was a mechanic, his stepdad's a mechanic. So like that's kind of like his. He likes cars.
Are you doing like a Marissa Tomei bit right now from My Cousin Vinny? You know, my dad was a mechanic. My uncle was a mechanic.
Listen, I'm from New York originally. You know,
positive traction. What?
It happens.
Yeah, positive traction. One wheel spins, the other one does nothing.
Oh, we got Billy. Was it Billy Beige Customs? Here for Kent, staying for the pool. Curtis is good too. There you go. I never held Curtis down.
Whoa.
That's true. Nothing
against his will, anyways, right?
Yes.
As long as he gave the consent form.
Hot Wheels people are a different breed of collector. See, I didn't collect them, but I had so many when I was a kid because they were cheap and affordable. You know, I had the General Lee, I had the Knight Rider, and that's when the shows were still in the air. I mean, I was born in '78, just like Dre, so we're both vintage. Dre's gonna be 47 next month.
I know, on the 18th, baby. Let's go.
I'm glad there is a quality program with multiple personalities to discuss toys, movies, and other geek culture in Friday nights. Yes, but some of the multiple personalities are in this body alone, and then also
exactly. I was saying, we're not. Are they counted as the medicated ones or the unmedicated ones?
I'm pretty much like Randy Orton. I have voices in my head.
Oh, they definitely talk to them.
Yeah, Micro Machines, baby. I think I had some where my little brothers had.
Oh, those were my pocket. Those were my pocket toys when I was in middle school. Like you could take a little boat or like the motorcycles, and I would do little wheelies in my desk.
Terrence says,
that's
I've
how old we
struggled
are.
to find a solid program.
You've struggled. Well, sir, struggle no more.
Greetings from the toilet. Hey, as long as it flushes, you're safe.
Nice. Yeah, Oz was having some problems. He was supposed to be over there on the off-road podcast right now, but he's having some stomach issues. So
hey, listen, that was me last week. Colonoscopy over.
I'm sorry to hear that. Done. You know, no, it's never good when you hear someone's having a rumble in the Bronx. That's that's my code. That's my code.
Don't talk. Oh, don't want to use the Bronx, bro. Like the Bronx ain't no piece of shit. That's Jersey. You gotta watch
Jackie Chan, rumble in the Bronx.
I know, but
calm down. Take a deep breath.
Shit, it hurts. Hurts the soul.
Giving a like on each channel, still in the bathroom. Appreciate that.
Yo, that's what the greatest thing about these things, technology right here, baby. Be in one spot, you just like
make sure to hit that like button, friends. Appreciate that.
We appreciate it.
If I might suggest a segment, perhaps pick a random year on this week and discuss which of the top 10 films of that week and in year you'd go if you traveled back in time via a time machine. You don't want to mention a time machine. This is a guy who's building a flux proton pack, a Back to the Future thing proton pack. So don't tempt me. I'll make it happen.
That is a call out to the show that I'm normally on right now, where we do a segment called This Week in Theaters. And so I do a random number generator and we land on a certain year. And then we look at what the top 10 movies were for that year at that week.
Cool.
And then we have to pick one out of the top. So that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a safe space?
Well,
prior to 10 o'clock it is. Space. There is, but I would say this is a safe space till 10. After 10, it's all
David's life.
Free.
I hope you're doing good, David. He's actually another local Western New Yorker here. He does a lot of like travel vlog videos. Like he goes on driving around and getting coffee early in the morning, just having a Phoenix.
So Master Caecilius, the bearded man, is named Curtis. Curtis, instead of hearing us two talk, we actually like these shows because we actually bring guests on to talk about themselves. So please grace us and the guests that do not know you with those beautiful action figures you have behind you. Who are you? And tell us about yourself.
So I am me.
I am me.
I collect and customize Legions figures, so Cosmic Legion, Mythic Legion, Figure Obscura. I collect a bunch of stuff on top of that. I've got a YouTube channel that I just started earlier this year that's all about customizing action figures. So do a lot of like interviewing other artists that work on customs to kind of see like how they go about doing it. Talk about like different tools and you know, paint brushes and paints and things like that to use. And then other than that, I'm just on YouTube all the time. Like I'm on somebody's show practically every day of the week. So
aren't you on like at least 4 times during the week?
A lot. Yeah. So there was a challenge thrown out to me like early last year to be on a YouTube show like 7 days in a row, and I think we actually went like 2 weeks in a row, and it was crazy. I had multiple shows a day. It was like 3 or 4 shows a day for like 2 weeks. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But but yeah, like I said, my main channel is for customizing action figures, and you know, just try to help people get into that hobby because it's just a lot of fun. So
yeah, he was actually in the back room. He was telling us, or in our green room, he was actually telling us a lot about what he's doing and some cool stuff he's actually going to be doing to the current room you're going to be in, correct?
Not this room. This is my living room actually, but upstairs I've got a studio where I do my painting and customizing and stuff, and I've just got a lot of extra figures that are waiting to be customized, and they're just in boxes and a wardrobe, and it's just hard to find them. So I'm gonna be this week installing a pegboard, putting a bunch of pegs up, and just kind of like arranging it like you would in a store or something, so that just a little bit easier to see what all I've got and get to it a little bit quicker. So
are you gonna install some signage too?
Wasn't planning on it, but I could.
See, now he needs to, so we can we gotta get a glimpse inside the mind of like what you're customizing. I can see you like at the table with like a cool like neon light over it. With like this,
well, like I said on my channel, there's you know, a lot of the customs that I've worked on and things like that. So and my Instagram has pretty much everything that I've done. So it's same thing. It's Art by Ackerman for Instagram.
By the way, all his links are in the video description below, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, I threw your link tree in the stream, so anybody can check out any of your many links. I mean, if you're Art by Ackerman, you might as well put like Ackerman's Gallery. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, this is just like you're seeing a very small portion of my collection.
The Ackerman bedroom.
The Ackerman bedroom does have some figures in it as well. So
yeah,
I've got figures in my living room, in my studio, in my bedroom, out in the garage. So yeah,
he threw his child out to have his customized studio.
Yeah, and then when I'm on the road for work, I get a travel toy. So
there you go.
See, that's nice though. The wife actually has made me condense it to here. So no spillage anywhere else. The youngest one has all the toys in the living room.
Does your better half collect?
Yeah, she's got some too. There's actually this desk that I'm at is actually her desk, but I use it for YouTubing. There's quite a few of her figures on here, and she's got some upstairs. She's got a little Doctor Strange collection. She's also got a Harley Quinn collection.
Okay.
And then just some random Legions and stuff that she's collected. So
yeah. I sympathize. I got my wife into well, she's heavily into Stay Puft because I got her into Ghostbusters, obviously. But she loves the Marvel pretty boys like Doctor Strange. She friggin' loves Deadpool. Anything Deadpool, Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, she's nailed down for that. She's all down. I mean, I got her the friggin' Deadpool talking head. That was like that's probably one of her favorites. But yeah, it's always good when you can get the significant other into it, because then like, hey, oh dear, I got you this.
Look at that. There's Dave's shirt. Nice shirt, Dave.
Cool. That is a very cool shirt.
You get the
you did
wife.
great work.
You get something for the wife, then she can't say anything when you get stuff for yourself.
Oh, or if your wife's into different types of collecting, like mine does. She used to like do Funko when that was the gateway drug, and then now she's like she does books.
Yes.
Every now and then I'll get her the action figure, and the big thing she's been like into is like Lilo and Stitch, and we stitchified her classroom. It was crazy.
Billy, if my wife could if she could track Ryan Reynolds, she would kidnap him. She would.
That Apple.
We don't
tag,
have a
that air
basement,
tag,
but she would find some place to keep him tied up.
She'll buy an air tag and just stick it right in his pocket. I guarantee you, Fan Expo one year he's there. He's gonna get an air tag on his ass.
I doubt he'll ever do a Fan Expo. Let's be honest.
I see Ken Poole there talking about Darla. That's my wife. She has actually become more well known in the toy community than myself, because I got her into making soft goods for the action figures that I customize and stuff. And so now she makes them and we sell them at different shows that we're at and stuff. And they're awesome. Just, I mean, I would say it anyway because it's my wife, but I mean, anybody that's bought her soft goods, they'll tell you like they are just really good. Like the wire that she uses is a little bit thicker than most, and it holds a really good pose, and the seams are really good. So she does a great job with the soft goods. And so, yeah, when we go to these cons, it's not just like I'm going to hang out with friends and she kind of tags along. Like she's there 100%.
Does she take over your friends? Let's be honest.
For the most part, yeah. Like people come to our table and they're coming to see her. They're not coming to see me. So yeah.
I think we all have that. Like our one person that's like the more popular. Like for me, it's Peanut. Like she is always, people know her more, the little one more than they know me, which I'm fine with that. She's cute. That wins. But like Dave, I'm friends with his wife. I mean, I've seen a lot of your significant others either pop up on your channel, so it's pretty cool.
Well, and then like if you watch Kent Poole's videos, he has that like intro music and stuff, and then there's a picture of me and Kent Poole on there. So like I've got some people say, "Oh, you're that guy from the Kent Poole videos." Yeah, I'm just the guy standing next to him. So
welcome, wholesome Warlock.
Damn,
I can't read it. Talk to. I
can't
read. I can't read today. So
lesson Warlock. Who?
And weird. I love the interaction. So, Dave, let's get actually into the purpose.
Let's bring it up.
Let's bring up the look.
Yes, I corrected the spelling. Yay!
Yeah,
that's not uncommon. I've gotten that my whole life. everybody wants to throw.
I spelled it correct. Yeah. Just so you know, I spelled it correct when I got it. He incorrectly spelled
it. But that thumbnail I was doing it at 2:30 in the morning. So there.
That's also true. And we this week I will apologize to everybody. This week it was a heck of a week for my house. So cheat sheet was really late. Like it was done this morning. So I was able to get it done this morning, and I was very happy. Again, I wanted to do a lot, and we try to not want to have the show drag out. But when you guys are so interactive, it makes it so much more fun. And he had some really interesting choices. So I asked Curtis, I was like, "Hey, dude, what are like the genres that you like to watch?"
I think I overachieved.
Oh, you gave me a whole. But the funny thing is,
give me one, and I'm like, no. How about here's like 12.
He gave me 12, and I'm going to tell you what I loved about it. It was me sitting for the whole week looking at your list, knowing Dave and my lists ideas that we would have, right? And I'm like, how the hell do I narrow this down to like an idea? Because sometimes I theme it where I can say like, okay, we're doing this or we're doing this. And I kept it too simple. I was like, we're just going to do genres. And we never really talked about sports movies, and that kind of interested me the most. We didn't cut a genre because sci-fi, we've talked a lot of sci-fi.
Yeah.
So, but I thought it was a lot of fun to have you pick some genres and the film. So we each picked a film and we talk about it. Yeah. Kind of like go over why we liked it, what a little bit about it, kind of the actors. And then you guys in the audience, obviously, y'all will participate with us because some of y'all may have never seen it. I doubtful because a lot of older movies. We're a class of gentlemen and lady that watch this show that may actually know a little bit about this. And if you don't, feel free to say, I don't know. And we'll talk. So
cool.
Let's get on in. So we're going to start with the genre for sports films. Obviously, this was hard for me to narrow down. But Curtis, you're my guest on the show. We want you to start Draft Day. One hell of a pick, first off. I loved it. So what about it? Tell us about it. Give us your insights.
Well, as I mentioned before, when Kenzo popped in to throw his little Broncos BS in there, I'm a Raiders fan and have been pretty much my whole life, which means you don't have much excitement during the season because they suck. And so you look forward to the draft because that's when you could potentially get better next year, right? It's the next year's our year. And I just think there's some silliness in there. There's some things that wouldn't happen in terms of what trades are made and who gives up what for what. But it also gives you a little bit of insight to the process of what people are doing behind the scenes while they're on the clock, how they're evaluating talent. And then there's also this just kind of personal story in there with Kevin Costner's character and the other gal that's in there. And I don't know, it's just I really enjoy the film. It's definitely not a documentary on the draft. It's there's a lot of stuff in there that's very fabricated or just taken to the extreme. But I just enjoy it. I think it's a really fun film. So
no, most definitely. And it's funny. I did see we had a comment here, and I'm gonna definitely. So Billy, I'm not gonna lie to you. I legitimately was gonna pick The Replacements, and I said, oh God, there's so many movies that I love. Like, I mean, come on, Field of Dreams. I mean, I could go down the list of every good sports movie I've ever seen. I mean, Rudy.
Hey, we know you're wiry.
So I love The Replacements. It was definitely that would have been a very good pick, but I had to go with classic one. And then I when I had to pick this, I said, what movie when I sit down, like either it's background music or like background television, what can it be? And Remember the Titans is just that one. It's so quotable. It's Denzel at his best. And it's a solid film. I love the character development. It was like, it's a less, I guess, raunchy version of Gridiron Gang. Like, I love The Rock in that film as well. But I needed something where, like, the coach is inspirational. You're breaking this racial tension. You're breaking stereotypes. You're dealing with a lot of, like, rivalry in the team to build the team. And I think that that's something that Denzel always does when you hand him the ball almost literally. He runs with it and he scores really well. I think this does that for me. I think Remember the Titans was solid. I would love to eventually see a remake of this done like a little bit more, maybe like on the like in the semi-pro league, kind of how like The Replacements was. I think that'd be kind of a cooler film and a more modern take. But again, I love this film. And Dave, obviously, I love yours. Yours is straight hilarious.
I'll be honest. I've never saw Draft Day. I heard good things about it. I just never got around to watching it.
I almost picked.
I
so when you gave me kind of like give us a genre and a movie, I ended up giving you like three movies for 4 different genres, and for sports, I wanted to give you a couple different sports. So Remember the Titans was right up there. Like it was like, man, if I'm to think of football movies, to me, my top 3 would be Remember the Titans, Draft Day, and Any Given Sunday. And it's hard for me to pick like what's better than what. But yeah, I mean, definitely a great pick and definitely right up there. So
what was the other? There was another draft movie wasn't it with Pacino? I can't remember the name.
Pacino was in Any Given Sunday.
Yeah,
that was Any Given Sunday. That's right.
Are you thinking what was was it Matt Damon? Am I thinking Matt Damon?
It was like a draft film that like it might be Any Given Sunday because I remember Pacino that movie was so fun. Friday Night Lights.
Was it Moneyball? Is that what you're thinking?
No,
of?
that's Moneyball was that was
baseball.
Curtis had that on his list.
I want to say.
And Moneyball was what was his face? That's Brad Pitt. And what's his face? The heavyset guy. Jonah Hill.
Well, he's not heavyset.
That's baseball.
That's baseball.
That's baseball.
Not football.
Yeah, Moneyball.
Most definitely. Like
I love that film. That film I could watch. I think I've probably watched Moneyball, I don't know, 20 times. Like it's so good.
I mean, as far as football, like it's funny we chose football. We all chose football movies. I was considering like because when Dre's like, oh, one of the genres is going to be sports. I was like, I thought about Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg when she's coaching the Knicks.
Yeah.
I thought about Celtic Pride, or
Mm.
with when Damon Wayans is kidnapped. He's the basketball
Uh,
player.
Wildcats.
Wildcats, that's
Oh, yeah.
another one I thought of, because especially since, well, Wildcats would work, but also White Men Can Jump works because both Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes were in both films.
Mm.
But like, I actually thought about Longest Yard, both the remake and the original.
Both great films.
Rudy, I just thought like everyone picks Rudy, so I that was
Yeah.
not even on my radar. I actually thought about Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't.
That's the
Not
fun
only
one.
would Rudy not make my top sports movies, it wouldn't even crack the top 10 of just my
Yeah.
top football movies. So,
But yeah,
I think it's very overrated in my opinion.
necessary.
I think, it's old. It's old enough too. Like I think it's dated a little bit in the concept. It's cool, but
I mean,
Well,
for
and
me,
then you like, if you read stories from like Joe Montana, who was on that team, like he says, you know, basically like the movie is 90% garbage. Like it's none of that happened, you know? So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like they took a very small bit of truth and stretched it into a movie and made it seem a lot more interesting than what really happened. So,
And I love how like you guys pick out like Draft Day, Kevin Costner. We got Denzel. I pick Necessary Roughness. I go for the straight out comedy. I mean,
Sinbad.
I'm a big Scott Bakula fan, and this is like him fresh out of Quantum Leap. You know, a couple of years he's done some different films here and there, and then he pops up in this thing. You get Jason Bateman's in it. I mean, you get so many people in here. This is just, for me, this is just something I can watch over and over again. It's chaos, it's comedy, it's football. Just it's great. You know, you get the aging like 40 something, probably close to 50-year-old who's gonna come back to football, college football of all things. There's just so many. To me, this whole thing is just one big riot, and that's why I love this movie. You know, you get some football. I love when they play they get a scrimmage game against against a local penitentiary. Of all people, you get freaking Jim Kelly. I think Stone Cold was, no, I don't think Stone Cold was in
No,
that.
Stone
He
Cold
might
was
have
the
been.
longest yard.
no, that was
That
in
was
the
longest
longest yard.
yard.
Yeah.
But they had a whole host of former football players and other sport athletes that they pulled in, and they just beat the crap out of these guys. But to me, Necessary Roughness, I think, is a forgotten football comedy, and to me, it's something I watch it all every now and again. I watch it all the time. It's just one of my favorites.
So I want to address two
Yeah.
comments. One of the comments I saw was that Remember the Titans, a remake. So I agree. It's a 25-year-old movie. It was made in 2000. So I'm gonna put a debunk on a lot of the concept of remakes, because people remake a film that hasn't even been around for 10 years. So remakes are either very, very old, 70s, 60s, 80s, 50s, 90s, because we've seen them do the 90s shows remade now. Full House, you know, I mean, if we were to see Growing Pains or something like that, that'd be a stretch. But we've talked about that. You guys have seen us do that. That'll be next week. But when I think of films, you can do a film and 25 years later do a remake of it to modernize the film. I think, because if you were to look at a film now, yeah, a knee injury could blow you out of a season. But I think now, especially with a lot of what they talk about with the concussion helmets and the big concussion protocol, I think that would actually shed a lot of light. And then we do have that horror film coming out next year that's by Jordan Peele, which is about like, what would you do to sell your soul to the devil to be a football player, you know, to get into the NFL. I think that's
I want to touch on Billy's comment here. Remakes because no one wants new ideas. Friday Night Lights was adapted into a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
First it was a movie, but then it was adapted to a TV show. I think like you definitely want to have, I think it's good if you're going to do a remake, give it some space, give it some air to breathe, or give it a different twist. But like when you just, I mean, don't get me wrong, Longest Yard I think is a good exception to that rule. They built upon it, and hell, they even brought Burt Reynolds. I mean, they did the legacy there. And let's be honest, we all would be complete idiots and morons if we did not acknowledge Dave's comments. Can't wait for the new Spaceballs.
And
I mean,
and that's going to be a whole video that Dave and I have to talk about doing.
oh,
next.
that's a whole stream that we will be doing a discussion about. I mean, hell, maybe even try and find a way to do some kind of watch party. But I mean, they did the impossible. They got Rick Moranis out of retirement.
I think it was sort of like a Samuel L. Jackson moment. Just to put a pause on this, I think that was a total
Truckload of money.
How much? Yeah, exactly. How much money did Mel Brooks need to put in front of his house to say, "Come on out"? And because his kids are all grown, I know his wife has been out of remission, and I think she passed. Didn't she pass?
She passed. Well, see, she passed. That's what prompted him to retire.
Exactly, because he wanted
to be the father for his kids. So that's what prompted his retirement to begin with. But also, don't forget that he was attacked in New York City a handful of years ago too. So
on the flip side of that, it's also Mel Brooks. Let's be realistic. I love Mel Brooks. He's
I said in our chat,
old.
I said in our group chat that we have, I'm like, who says no to Mel Brooks? Let's be honest.
He's 98. The guy doesn't have much more time.
And
if let him get the movie out.
He's going to be doing, I'm sure he's going to be playing both characters, President Screw and Yogurt.
He has to.
But it's going to be interesting to see how they do it. But let's just keep on going. Yeah, everyone's like, Mel Brooks won't need makeup this time for Yogurt.
He really won't. He got the hair in his ears, the little bit of hair on his head. But you know what though? He's a spry old man. I'll give him. He looked he just from like sitting in that director's chair. I'm excited. Totally excited for this.
There's a show on Netflix called Comedians Getting Coffee, the Jerry Seinfeld show that he was doing. He did a sit down with Mel Brooks, and Mel Brooks definitely he hasn't slowed down. I mean, he's freaking Mel Brooks. But yeah, these are our picks. I mean, yeah, I go for the straight out comedy. And of course, I mean, let's be honest, Kathy Ireland, you gotta have the eye candy in that film.
Well, let's also say this. Dave mentions Friday Night Lights was, we all know ABC, which is now like pretty much owned by Disney, made it into a TV show. Also, Necessary Roughness on USA Network was turned in from the movie into a TV show with John Stamos.
It wasn't the same thing.
It was
called Necessary Roughness because I think there was a TV
really
show.
Serious. Like you zoomed in on that. That was like,
was intense, man. It's a hand gesture. That just gonna happen.
It was like, wait a minute, that was a TV. Yeah,
there you go.
I love that, Dave.
But yeah, that was a completely different thing. It had nothing to do. It just had the name, and that's all they really went with.
I thought, honestly, because I just Googled it briefly today. Like, I didn't have, usually, folks, you guys know I like to dig a lot deeper. Today, it's like I said, been a crazy week. So I didn't get to dig as much as I wanted to into that. But again, these are solid. And I know Curtis had Tin Cup on there, which I loved that movie. I was just looking
that's
at your
a great
list.
one.
I have your list up here. He had Tin Cup, Moneyball, and Draft Day. Those are like two, like all three great choices. So I loved it.
I probably would have also thrown Major League in there.
And I was going to throw Only the Strong. I was going to go completely left and go Only the Strong with Mark Dacascos. But then I was like, is martial arts really sports? And it may not be to some people. And I didn't want to bring up that argument in the chat. Now, kid adventure films. So I was thinking when he said this, I had to really dig in the brain of like what defines this genre. So
I kind of made this one up on my own just because I had a set of movies that I wanted to put in it.
I love it though. When you gave me this, again, you gave me homework, and the homework made it so awesome to think of this because, dude, that was like Captain Nemo, like Nemo and Dreamland, Adventures in Dreamland. It really made me dig into this like idea of what were the fantasy films that like got me to be a kid. And yours, obviously, I mean, get into it. I mean, I love this movie.
Yeah, I mean, out of the three that I sent you, this wouldn't have been my first pick, but I was kind of thinking, things that I watched as a kid with kids in it that were having an adventure that maybe, not safe or not something that as a parent you would want your kids involved in, right? Because there's a lot of danger involved, but it's just a cool adventure. And so this was one of them for sure. Definitely some sadness in this movie. Obviously, everybody got traumatized by
Betray you.
one particular scene.
Atrax,
But,
yeah.
but yeah, just like, this kid's skipping school and he's
Yeah.
in this like really scary place, and there's a thunderstorm outside, and he's reading this book, and there's like all this character, and all of a sudden it feels like it's starting to come alive, and it's like he's part of the story, and it was just a really fun, cool adventure. So
I have a question. Since you
Yeah.
said that you had your list wasn't your top pick,
mhm.
I'm gonna. The other two choices were extremely good choices. I did not know the second one on your list. So what is Cloak and Dagger?
Oh,
So
how could you not know that?
So
I'm sorry, I don't know it.
Cloak and
Randy
Dagger.
Coleman.
Yeah, it's this kid. His mom had passed away. He's living with a single father. His father's a pilot. And he's loves this one video game. This one video game is called Cloak and Dagger. There's a new version of it coming out, and he gets a copy of it from a friend, and it turns out like this game's got like some spy secrets or something on it, and so like there's these people trying to get the game from him because it's got this information that they need off of it, and they're trying to kill the kid. And so throughout the movie he's like trying to get away from him, and he's got this imaginary friend, and this imaginary friend, Jack Flack, is basically like his dad. Like the same actor plays his dad as well as this imaginary friend, but he's dressed up and cool, and he's just like this, like, cool adventure guy, right? And throughout the movie you see like his relationship with this imaginary friend is kind of like how he wishes his dad was, right? Like he wishes his dad was a little bit more like that, and they had adventures together and all this kind of thing. It's just a really super fun movie.
Yeah.
There's some moments in it that as a kid kind of creeped me out, but it's just a really fun movie, and it's just a heartfelt tale about a son and a father. So
I mean, apropos for Father's Day, so it's kind of an interesting way. I didn't even know about that.
The kid in it is Elliot from E.T.
Correct. Yeah.
Get out. Okay, so now
Yeah.
I gotta find that and watch it.
Yeah. It's a great fun movie from the 80s. But like the kid who's in Never Ending Story, he was also in Daryl, and I think a whole host of other, like, he was kind of like an unknown kind of it kid for movies back then, kind of. And he was in a handful of stuff.
So I'm gonna just two things. So we are on the list. Dave knows, and for anybody that's new to the channel who watches our stuff, I have a list that's like 52 weeks. I literally at the start of the year, I was like, I want to come up with like ideas, and I just sat down, just like the muse hit me, and I actually was like, movies that traumatized me as a child. And I was like, I told Dave about this idea a few months back, and we always want to do it, but then like we get like, y'all hit us with some other ideas, and then those ideas take the front seat on this one. So we will be doing that probably as a pre-recorded coming up in the next couple of weeks, because we do have a couple of weeks where we won't be on. I'll hit that later on in the video during the live today. But Curtis had another great classic that I think everybody in this chat has seen, which was Monster Squad.
Oh yes,
I love
the Wolfman has nards.
Yeah.
The Wolfman has nards.
To me, I no offense, Dave, I know a lot of people are very high on Goonies. I was never a Goonies person. I always thought Monster Squad was just a superior film in terms of, the adventure, in terms of, everything going on. I loved it. I could watch it all the time. Goonies.
Oh no,
yeah,
no, you're perfectly fine with that. I mean, Monster Squad is, that's something I can still watch to this day. Is it dated? Yes, it's dated as hell, but it's, we all were, let's be honest, take a moment for Monster Squad. We were all those kids. We would discuss like, oh, how do you, how do you stop a zombie? What do you do? How do you stop a vampire? You would quiz people because it was, that was just the thing.
Well,
we still do that kind of nowadays. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, and then they're, when they're recruiting Rudy, right? It's like, you got these younger kids, and like, here's this older kid. He's cool. He's got the leather jacket. He kind of rides up on the bike and stuff. And like, they're trying to get him to hang out with their group. And like as a kid, like isn't that what you want? Like you just wanted one of the cool older kids to think
Yeah.
that your group was cool, right?
Of course.
You
Yeah.
wanted Fonzie, you know, that was basically
Yeah.
what it was. But yeah, that's a great film, and I mean, for the time, even the special effects in that film were good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Dre, they did Universal Monsters before anyone else could. Oh wait, no one's actually successfully done that since then. Oh,
Yeah, we've done that. We talked about that, the failed MonsterVerse that the Universal MonsterVerse we never got.
But Neverending Story, that's an awesome
It's
pick.
timeless. It's timeless.
Well,
And
I mean, like you said, you have a kid who's reading a book, and then you have a kid inside the book, and spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, the twist at the end is just like how like the universes kind of like are broken down. It's awesome. And don't watch the sequels. Whatever you do, don't watch.
The
I
sequels
didn't
are
even know there
good.
was a sequel.
There's two.
There's three. Yeah,
Oh,
there's like three
Wow.
movies. There's three movies together. One of them
Ugh.
even has Jack Black as a bully.
Yeah, no thank you.
It's a shaved head high school bully, believe it or not.
No thanks. No thanks.
But
I'll leave that one.
I picked Goonies, but my short list was Goonies, Explorers.
I don't think I've seen that.
And Explorers, it's River Phoenix was like he was like one of these young kids. Ethan Hawke is in it. They're these young kids, and River Phoenix plays kind of like a whiz kid. They find this phenomenon, and then they actually build themselves a ship to go out into space.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you ever see like the little tilt-a-whirl cars? That's what they build it out of. Like it makes it's complete nonsense, but it's awesome, and they do go out into space, and it's kind of crazy and goofy, and it's 80s. I picked Goonies for multiple reasons. One, I'm a big Goonies fan. It just celebrated its 40th anniversary this year as well, along with a lot of other films. Plus, I mean, our lead character, asthmatic. Give me a movie where the lead protagonist is an asthmatic. Don't get me started about sidekicks, okay? But no, I mean this is just Goonies, never say die, never give up. Like I was that kid who had asthma, who had other issues, and just that kind of like never give up kind of mentality, and being the ever loving outcast all throughout my childhood. I mean, for me, that's kind of what I latched onto. So I mean, for me, Goonies it's always going to be a thumbs up for that. I tried to think of some other I thought of movies, but like most of the movies I was thinking of only had like one or two kids involved. Like I thought of Little Monsters with Howie Mandel, Fred Savage. So I thought of a few. So, but yeah, Goonies is my top pick. I mean, it's a fun, crazy adventure, and of course, it would never happen in a million years. And I dread the sequel that they're talking about doing.
Well, it's finally being realized. So I'm going to leave that one alone. That's a whole discussion video that we've been talking about since last year when they had the rumors drop. And now that we've actually seen promotional artwork are starting to now make its way out, and that the actual executives are now talking to the actors. There's a lot of talk in Hollywood about it. I don't know if I really want to see it, but I mean, yeah, you would have some very high caliber people in the actors themselves that are still around being Oscar nominated, Oscar winning, caliber. So it's like, hey, I mean, it may not be too terrible, but leave it alone,
Goonies can have a sequel if they put the octopus.
Hey, make it happen. But I did want to address another film that it made my short list, and I think it's probably the epitome of what I consider a true Dungeons and Dragons film, which is the movie Legend. I mean, Tim Curry as the Darkness. I mean, Mia Sara dancing with what probably was the creepiest thing, and it makes my hair stand up right now when I think about it, was the dancing gown that eventually goes on to her and corrupts her. She's like this entity of goodness, and she gets tempted, and then the whole dance with like this like person that you could tell is actually wearing like a completely like colored head to toe suit, but
Yeah.
then they become, you know, she then morphs into that evil demonic version of herself, and it was just like this great way to show like possession. And obviously Tom Cruise, I always say that the best level up scene I've ever seen in a movie, when he fights the hag in the bog and he cuts her down, and like you see the sword glow, and then like and you see her fall. I was like, you know, like that's a level up in D&D. Like when I was in college and we played, and we always quoted, that's like the way we pictured our characters.
And
like
yet
your
that was
sword
the
glows.
only fantasy film he's ever done. Not counting
If you
sci-fi
count-
films. I'm not counting
the
sci-fi
Mummy
films.
doesn't. I don't count the Mummy. The Mummy's more of, I guess, horror, but I would count the Mummy as that fantasy. If you loosely, again, I'm not going to go loosey
Well,
goosey.
like a Dungeons and Dragons type thing. He's only done just that though.
That's true. But then let's actually talk about a true D&D fantasy that people all around the world have loved, The Princess Bride. Absolutely one of these movies that I think is
Quoted to death willingly.
it's goated. It's actually, so Carrie Hughes is actually going to be in Charlotte this month coming
Always.
up. Or Elways. I thought it was Hughes. But okay, Dave. Any event.
I should have zoomed in on that one.
I know. I was going to zoom in.
Zoom in and mic drop.
Always.
Zoom out. Zoom out.
go.
Thank you. So that he's going to actually be in Charlotte doing a live discussion while the film is going on, like talking about the film and doing a whole like signing. I thought that was awesome. But again, this movie, I think, is the most quotable, the most memeable. It's iconic. It is for me, in the top 10 greatest films of all time. This movie's in there because it dings all the right, it ticks all the right boxes for me. You have the romance, you got the grandfather reading the book to the kid that doesn't want to. I mean, in a world where literacy is not, in a modern day world where literacy is not a thing, my wife's an ELA teacher, and literacy is a problem, where you're getting the kid to read the book and getting him interested in the characters. You have these characters with deep, full backstories. In a 2-hour film, I wanted to have a whole film dedicated to Inigo. Inigo Montoya should have had his own damn
Inigo
movie.
Montoya, you killed my brother. Prepare
I
to
would have
die.
loved to see the backstory of how you got to there. Fezzik, may he rest in peace. Give Fezzik his own damn movie. I would love to know, why are you here doing what you did? There's so many facets to the film. And it's just, like I said, I just think it's just, for me, it's one of those, again, my littlest one, she's not old enough yet to appreciate it. 2 more years. I think by age 7, she'll be able to sit down and really, I think, really watch it and love it. So hands down, I think one of the best movies. And I think each of these, if you guys have nieces, nephews, kids of your own, I think these are solid films to actually have them watch, because they were what we grew up with, you know. And if they're damn near 40 years old and they're still hits for us, and society could still use a meme for it, I think it's still good.
I'm going to say this. We had the best childhood because of these films. They don't make
the
films like
cartoons.
these. They don't make
Cartoons helped it.
Yeah, cartoon soup. I mean, they don't make films like these anymore. I mean,
Well, they
like
do
you
because
said-
they remake them.
Very true.
hey yo. I mean, come on. We get Andre the Giant, Carrie Elways, Mandy Patinkin, who you was like, wait a minute, that you don't see those. It looks like 2 separate people. I mean, hell, oh God, how am I blanking as Billy Crystal as Max?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Wallace Shawn. You know, inconceivable. I mean, we just so many friggin' amazing people in here, and it's just like, and the thing is, like, my wife is not a fan of Princess Bride, but I will sit there and watch it.
I think
it's
that I think Princess Bride is the only perfect film ever made. Like I think it's you know, there are films that I enjoy more at times, but I think Princess Bride is the best movie that's ever been made. it just hits everything. I mean, the grandpa says it at the beginning that it's got, you know, action and love and sports and all the, like, and it does. It's got everything that you could want in a film. And for folks that, you know, I've talked to some folks that say that they've watched it and they just don't get it. They don't understand. They don't understand the love for it. They don't. And I'm like, you must be a heartless bastard.
Look beyond the silliness.
I don't know how
really
you can.
do.
Yeah.
Look beyond the silliness. Embrace the innocence of what. I mean, come on. You get a Princess Buttercup. You know?
Okay, the names. Okay, so the names. This is where I can agree. Maybe the names don't strike, but here's what. And I think the line. I'm going to go up to here. What Savage said. I think when you and we've talked about this with the hero's journey when we had Brick on, and as a former educator myself, who's married to an educator, you have a mindset that there's got to be the best movies that we've seen, the things that get nominated for Oscars, stuff that stands the test of time. You know, Apocalypse Now. People could watch Apocalypse Now, whether you like it or not. It carries, and it's something that has been permeated through film. You know, The Never-Ending Story, Goonies. You can replicate those things. Goonies pretty much is a love song and the whole story of what Stranger Things is all about. The concept of a group of characters that are grown up in this area that want to do more and experience this great evil. I mean, The Princess Bride, again, combining all these other subplot elements to build to the greater story, and it's actually layered within a deeper story of a relationship between a grandfather and his son and his grandson. I mean, that's amazing, and I agree with 1,000% what you said. It is a masterclass in what those films are, and it's very sad we don't get many of them nowadays.
I would throw Never-Ending Story in there with it. I mean, the fact that, you know, as the story progresses and you realize that the kid that's reading the story is part of the story, it's like, man, like the way that plays itself out is pretty spectacular.
Oh, 1,000%. And I think that, you know, nowadays when you see that, it's a very hard dichotomy for you to ever separate characters from the story. Like, I mean, I'm going to use a bad movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to use a bad movie like in Minecraft, where it's like, oh, there's the video game. Oh, no. What was it? God, what was the movie? Kevin Hart, The Rock.
Jumanji.
Jumanji. So you take Jumanji, original Jumanji, classic. Robin Williams, superb. Chef's kiss, love it. Jumanji remakes. Like, why did you take something that was so well conceived and well done, and then you bastardize it? Now, granted, I love the world building, but that's all I love. The acting was too campy. It was done like a video game, and I get it because you wanted to make it more modern, but certain things don't need that. Some things, if you leave it the way it is, Pet Sematary, original Pet Sematary, Chef's Kiss, great book, great film. Pet Sematary has had 3 remakes, all terrible. Why mess with the original? There's certain things you just don't do. And like, I think we all can agree. And you guys in the chat are saying it. It was a cash grab. Exactly. It was just that. And that's sadly what we're seeing in Hollywood. You know, somebody had said it recently on a podcast that superhero films are the it thing now because it's what's getting the most money. Think about it. It goes in stages. Dave and I have talked about this several times here. You've seen it with zombie films. We had the zombie craze. We had the vampire craze. We had the wizard craze. We've had the alien craze. Now we're having a resurgence of the alien craze in Alien Earth, and we're having it with the now Predators, and then we're starting to see heroes kind of fade back a little bit, but I like that. I want to see something else take that cup. And as far as storytelling, because once you keep regurgitating the same story, I don't want to hear it anymore. It's not good. You only reread the book so many times before you get sick of it. And Cemetery 2 is amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that we're getting, you know, the superhero stuff, because we just weren't for a long time. You know, we were getting Spider-Man, Batman, or Superman, and that was it. Now we're getting characters that, I mean, I never would have thought in a million years that we were going to get something like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like when that came out, it's like, who the heck are these guys? Like nobody read that comic, you know? But then you get into it and you watch it and you're like, man, this is really good. Like I shouldn't care about these characters. They're not, like, when you look at it, they're not necessarily good people, right? But I love them. I love the storytelling's great and all this and that. So, you know, it's just a matter of how much you put into, you know, or is it just a cash grab? Like, you know, I think Billy was saying with the new Jumanji, or are you actually spending time to build a story that is going to draw people in, is going to make you care about the cast? So
I think Savage said it too very well too. He said good movies are entertaining, great movies are layered, the characters, the drive, the heart of the stories. I think that's what John Wick. Let's use John Wick as a perfect example of great storytelling. This premise simple. As far as we know, Wick is part of an elite assassins guild. They took the dog his wife that died of cancer gave him and killed it. Revenge. Very simple motive, right? And people could say, oh, it's so one-dimensional. Is it though? Because the whole movie, he's listening to he's watching the same video on the phone, the same picture. The dog could have been replaced. There are sub characters that we meet webbed out throughout this universe, introduced to people that each meet him and have changed because of him. But his character single-minded in one focus: take down the people that did what they did wrong to him, because he lost the one thing left that was to the good part of his life. Layered premise, character driven, amazing. Ballerina, I'm gonna go see it next week. I'm hoping it's gonna be good. But I mean, 4 John Wick films, and he's planning to do a 5th one and a Berserker film. Let's go. That's where I'm gonna leave that.
That works.
So, Werewolf by Night, yeah. Doctor Strange, Man of Tai Chi. Man of Tai Chi was a great film too. That's when we got to leave for the martial arts movies. Now, obviously, sword and sorcery. Legend, I feel, falls more into the sword and sorcery than it would fall into the kids' adventures because of the facts I stated previously. You have the darkness, you have, you know, usually when people think sword and sorcery, I think of, you know, demons, monsters, castles, princesses.
Dre, I'm glad I picked what I picked because I was actually considering the original Clash of the Titans. So thank you.
Well, what's funny, Dave, is this is my entire list.
I know.
Yeah.
So, this is very so. Curtis, I have to, before we get into his list, I knew Curtis was going to love this because his list was pretty much Dave's list, which is pretty much my list minus Beastmaster. I think I'm the only one in the room that does not like Beastmaster as much as everybody else does.
Oh,
and that's
my
okay.
gosh.
Because I would slot Conan, I would slot in, you know, Legend, I would slot in any other film over
Curtis,
that movie.
When Dre told me about the sci-fi, I was actually, one of my picks was going to be Time Machine, but just as an asshole, I was almost going to pull Beastmaster 2 through the portal of time just to be a smartass, but I decided not to. I went with the original for the sword and sorcery, but Dre, go right ahead.
No, so when I saw Curtis's list, I'm grinning from ear to ear because I'm like, Dave and I've talked about this one, and we love this one. I can't wait to hear Curtis's view and what the chat says. I was like, Dave's gonna freaking love his second pick, and then of course, when I say, Dave, what's your picks? And I knew in my head what he was gonna say. He sends me his. I was like, oh, he's gonna love Curtis's pick, and then I was like, I'm the only one that stayed quiet. So I was like, for the first time, I had the surprise, and I was like, what film out of all this really hits me? And it's Clash, because I love the damn owl Bubo. If anybody does not understand me, I have died and wanted to get the little Bubo statue that they've recently recreated. The only reason I have not gotten him is the price, because he's like $400. But I played a D&D character that I love owls, and I used Bubo. I was an alchemist, and I had Bubo be my pet. And people laugh because I would always say, "Oh, he mechanically like words. That's his communication." like boop, 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 boop. I took it exactly from I found a clip and I played it for the DM. He died laughing. That movie is just timeless. But I want to hear you, Curtis. Please, since this is your list, go down each of these films, why you love it. Tell us about it.
First off, I just love this genre so much. Or the reason you see so much of this behind me, the reason why I do the customs of the Mythic Legions and have built my channel around customizing that is because of sword and sorcery films. This is something that my mom and I bonded over when I was a kid. Like, we would just watch these nonstop. Clash of the Titans, definitely by far the one that we watched the most. We watched it all the time. And I just love the entire film. I love him. The whole scene with the gods, and they're trying to put all this stuff together, and Zeus is trying to protect him, and the other gods are kind of jealous, and then him trying to help Perseus out on his journey by giving him the gifts with the helmet and the shield and the sword, and the Poseidon and the Kraken and the Medusa, and it's just such a great film with all this mythological stuff that is ancient. Like, this isn't stuff that they just made up on their own. They took this stuff that existed in mythology and brought it to life in the film. And then the Ray Harryhausen stuff, and just the way that some of these things move, like when the scorpions get huge, and they've got that stop motion animation move to the scorpions, and they're just creepy as all get out. Yeah, just absolutely love it. That one's by far my favorite. Beastmaster, I felt like, is what we should have got in a He-Man film. Like, for anybody that either likes or hated the 87 He-Man film, I tell them watch Beastmaster, because that's what we should have gotten. I mean, the guy's going around half naked. He's got the tiger with him. It's like throughout the whole film, it's like, this is what we should have, and it's in that world. It's not, they come to Earth and they're eating fried chicken and stuff, right? So it's just a really great film, and there's some parts in there that, like, as a kid, kind of creeped you out, like those guys with the wings that kind of wrap you up and, like, basically eat all your flesh and bone, just the bones fall down at the bottom. Like, it was scary and creepy, but it was just a cool film. And then for my third one here, I love the Conan movies, and I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but I think Red Sonja is better than the Conan movies. I think I like Arnold playing as the second, instead of the top person. I think he plays a really great second fiddle. And it's almost like it's 1A and 1B, right? It's not like, Red Sonja is in charge and he's just following her lead. Like, they really have this, like, partnership as they go through their journey. And I just think it's a really great film. I don't think it gets as much love as the Conan films, and I think it really should, because I think it's a really good flick. So
It's a solid. I think Dave and I have talked about Red Sonja, and
we've talked about the whole universe, actually.
Exactly. And for me, when it comes to that film, it's arguably one of the better films in that I remember we called it a quadrology, because it technically is part of the Conan 3 movie series.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she's getting a remake. They're looking to do like a continuation, kind of like mix the modern of the comic with the aesthetic of the older film, which I kind of think that's cool. I like that. But when everything I've read is that he's not Conan. He is they're like, I was so mad, because I was like, for years, I always thought he was Conan, and they said he's like, oh, he's unnamed, like, fighter. I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm like, what bullshit is that? He's not an unnamed fighter. That's freaking Conan. It's a sword.
It's basically the same role, but yeah.
And you're right. He does play well as a supporting actor in this film, because there were so many other main lead characters, I think, that were floating around besides Brigitte Nielsen. I will say that I arguably, and Dave and I have a show planned to film, which is the best Schwarzenegger films. And I was like, Maggie, I mean, for people that say that he's not a great lead, Maggie's one of his best ones. True Lies, he's not second fiddle because he's actually co-starring. But, if you look at Maggie, you look at Terminator, he's top billed for Terminator. He's top billed for, like, Commando. So they're on Predator. He's top
yeah.
billed. So I think that he carries those. But I can agree. I think in certain roles he does better where he plays off like Red. Oh God, what the hell was it? Where he played the Soviet soldier with
Red Heat or something.
Red Heat. Red Heat with Jim Belushi. Love that film.
Yeah, see, I always like him with a partner like Twins is freaking amazing
with Danny DeVito.
Yeah, this is great. Red Heat, like anytime that he's got somebody that he can play off of, I think it's just a much better performance overall than him trying to carry it all on his shoulders by himself. But I mean, he's an amazing actor regardless. So I mean, he's got so many films that you could say these are absolutely amazing. But I think it's just better when he's got somebody to play off of.
Oh yeah, because when you had True Lies.
Mm-hmm.
True Lies is great. He's playing off of Jamie Lee Curtis, and you have like all the whole cast of actors in there, Tia Carrere and
Tom
Arnold. You look at Eraser, James Caan.
One that doesn't get a lot of love that I think is pretty dang good is Last Action Hero we
on this channel love Last Action Hero.
Yeah, where he's playing off the kid,
Austin,
like
that little something. I can't remember the kid's name. Austin something.
Yeah, but that partnership between him and the kid throughout the movie is just a really good partnership. I enjoy it. So, yeah, I mean, all three of these I loved, and like I said, it leads to all this stuff you see behind me and what I've built my channel around and the customizing and stuff, because I just love sword and sorcery so much.
But yeah, I'm loving all this stuff. Yeah, True Lies amazing. Bill Paxton, Danny DeVito. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Even in the Expendables, I love him in the Expendables because he plays off Stallone really well too. I really wish that when they were younger, they would have had an opportunity to do I wish they had a chance to do like a cop film together or like a soldier film together.
They were trying to compete with each other so much that I don't know that would work. But yeah.
But it's funny because if you see them now, each of them Stallone moved from Hollywood now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch like their documentary on Sly's documentary, he eats lunch every day. He was eating lunch every day with Schwarzenegger. Like they were like really thick as thieves, and I'm like. Man, like, why in my mind? Like, why did we have to wait till Expendables to get you guys in a film together? Like,
egos,
egos. Money, egos.
I mean, Dre, you've heard the story about stopping my mama shoot, right?
Yes, I know. I heard about that.
The whole story between those two. well, no, because Schwarzenegger was going to do it, and there was like a whole competition. He was going to rig it up to get Stallone to do it, and ultimately he did. I mean, it's just, both. I gotta say, I will say this: Schwarzenegger is the funnier of the two. Let's be honest.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I don't know
about that. I don't know.
I mean, that's a hot take. Chat, what do you guys got to say?
Well, look,
I mean, you see some of his lines throughout the Rocky. I mean, watch Rocky 2 alone. Rocky 2 alone has so many one-liners in it where like when they ask him if he thinks he's got brain damage and he says, I don't see any, as if his brains would just be running down his face, or like, the guy's trying to get him to invest in condominiums and he goes, personally, I don't use them. He thinks he's talking about something else.
Like that delivery back then,
dude, it's so good. And my favorite Stallone movie is with Kurt Russell and Tango and Cash.
The delivery in Tango and Cash was
they are so spot on together. Like they just meld like
you'd swear they were best friends all their lives. How the chemistry they had in there. I mean, come on, Jack Palance as the big bad of the movie. I mean, just they had so many iconic people in that movie too. It's just
Savage Saint said it too. Yeah. I mean, you go back and watch it, and yes, it is an 80s like cheese fest movie. You're like, like at the end of the movie, they got like
reoccurring score as a theme song. You got that going on.
Hey, listen, we got like half naked Terry Hatcher, so teenage me was very happy. I mean, we had the generic bad 80s club music. I mean, I was.
We got Kurt Russell in drag. So
Kurt Russell in drag, which was hilarious, folks. So and there's been rumors, like I know that he's actually people have asked him like, hey, you know, Stallone's got like a couple of good movies, like maybe 10 movies left in him. Y'all think we're gonna ever get like a Tango and
Tango
Cash
and
too?
Cash, like
And
it
he's
could be their
rumored
kids.
that he
Come
would
on,
like. They've talked about no. Well, Wyatt would step in and do it. I mean, but would we get
Wyatt
like,
Russell, yeah.
you get Wyatt? I mean, he looks just like his dad. I mean, that'd be
Mm.
great for his kid.
I
But
mean,
who else would you get in there?
You
know,
had
as
Byron
Stallone.
James, who was like the bad guy, like the thug bad guy in so many movies and TV shows over the years.
But then that, you know what that feels like? Bad Boys, because they did that in Bad Boys, and it didn't work. Like, as much as I love the Bad Boys film series, when you went to the fact that you had Will Smith have that the half Hispanic kid that's like the crazy assassin murderer, and you get him to come back, and he starts becoming like a reformed good guy. It was like, it doesn't work. So maybe that's why I'm glad
Well,
Tango and Cash
I mean,
just kind of stayed Tango and Cash, like as a one shot. And if they ever remade it, awesome, remake it and do it more up and modern.
I'll say this: I think with Tango and Cash, I think it's going to come down to, like with everything, it's going to come down to writing, execution, and ultimately, will the studios let them make the film, or are they going to be too involved with it? I think those are the three factors.
I think what made that film work and what you would have to try to reproduce is that dynamic that one is the uptown cop and one is the downtown cop. Like, one is like, you know, on the streets, like down and dirty in the nasty areas, and the other one is like looking at the stock market, and you know, like they're just totally different cops, but they both were really good at their job. And so then you put them together, and it's just like this, you know, odd couple kind of thing that it shouldn't work, but it does work. That's what you would have to try to capture again.
And that's hard to capture lightning in a bottle. Look at Axel Foley. Did we expect that Axel F, as much as I look, and everybody knows on this channel, I love that film. Eddie Murphy is by far one. Like, I love Beverly Hills Cop. It was great to see that, and we are getting a sequel. Thank you, God. And it's like, again, how do you capture lightning in a bottle like that? It's so rare, especially now that Hollywood's remakes for remakes, because like there are very few original ideas left in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine that opportunity, you know.
But also, to touch base on that, the good thing that they did with Axel F was Axel wasn't the same person anymore, just like Eddie isn't the same person anymore. You know, they adapted the character for the years, and they executed it greatly, at least in my opinion. Because I know a lot of people were complaining, oh, they reused the music from all the soundtracks. Yeah, but were they through the songs? It fit in the scenes. You know, I mean, that's the thing. If look at James Gunn, he's phenomenal when it comes to soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
For whether it's his TV show like Peacemaker, and which I can re-binge over and over again.
Oh, Peacemaker, so
the
good.
The Guardian soundtracks, the music, it's quality. I mean, it's sometimes writing and action is one thing, but you gotta have background to set the tone, and sometimes music does it. You know,
he'll take a song that you've heard a whole bunch of times, and he puts it over a certain part of the movie, and it's like now all of a sudden that song just hits differently, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes he'll take a song that you've never heard of before, like the opening to Peacemaker, and then you're like, how have I never heard this? Like, this is fantastic. You know, so
I mean, that's the thing. It's like that's the thing. I hope that they do that with Superman. I hope that they throw some music in there, and that will, because like, I'll be honest, I'm against seeing like everyone's psyched about it. I don't have any enthusiasm for the Superman film. I haven't seen anything yet to really get me jazzed up. I'm hoping when I actually go see it, that I'll have a different tone. But what I've seen so far, I'm just not jazzed about. But like my pick, Beastmaster, this is something I watched over and over again with my dad. You know, this is like, we watched just mind-numbing. Well, there was military movies, the fantasy films, the good and the bad ones. I mean, I thought about Kull the Conqueror. I thought about Krull. I mean, I thought about a lot of stuff. Like, I thought of was it Lady Hawk with God,
I don't know that one.
His name. Michelle Pfeiffer, Matthew Broderick, and jeez, I'm blanking on his name. Um, blonde-haired actor, Rutger Hauer.
Okay.
Where there's a curse where um he can't be human at the same time that she's human. Like one is like she's a hawk during the daytime and he's I forgot what he is. Like he's like a panther or something at night. They were cursed.
Never seen that.
Yeah, it was a weird kind of a oh, there you go. Yeah, Rutger Hauer from Blind Fury. Yeah, I mean, I thought of that one. I thought of Excalibur. I just thought of a whole bunch of stuff. Because, like, with me, I actually on my short list, I actually considered Highlander, but then I was like, it's it's sword.
I mean,
it's
I
kind
would
of
include
sorcery.
stuff like the old Sinbad films,
Yes.
Jason and the Argonauts,
Yep.
That kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, because those were on my list. I was because like when I was thinking like sword and sorcery.
Oh,
Sadly, not a
even
lot of
Ferrigno in the Hercules movies,
yeah.
like those were great too.
I
So,
mean, not
Ooh.
anything modern was really kind of in my view right now.
yeah,
I was thinking all older stuff.
I can't really think of one good sword and sorcery film from the last like 20 years.
Lord of the Rings.
No, I'm not kidding. That's different. That's yeah.
That's kind of a genre onto
I
itself.
wouldn't consider that sword and sorcery, really.
Okay.
I figured Tolkien's kind of its own thing. So
Last Witch Hunter.
I don't think I've never even heard of that.
Vin Diesel. It's like another. It's based on a D&D. You know, Vin Diesel loves D&D. So the Last Witch Hunter, which is actually coming to Netflix as a TV series. I just found that out today, which looks freaking awesome. Yeah, like he.
Added it to my list.
Yeah, it's basically modern day, but it's his character is an actual barbarian witch hunter, like from the Viking age. And he tries to kill this witch that's like summoning a demon that's like trying to spawn this god to basically kill the entire, like destroy the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
And he plunges his sword into her heart. But when he does that, he gains partial immortality. So now he's living his life through the ages.
Yeah, he was actually like burns, like he was burned to a crisp, and then suddenly he's regenerating.
And it's like they have this odd connection to each other, and then the Catholic Church gets involved, and they kind of keep his identity secret, and he's given a new priest every like 80 years.
Yeah, because like Michael Caine is in it, Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
It's a pretty interesting cast. I mean, it was worth the watch. Yeah,
it was surprisingly good because you had Jon Snow's real life wife from
the red haired girl. Yeah,
the red haired wild woman. She's beautiful. Her name is Rose something. I can't remember the last name.
Yeah, she's a witch in there. She's a witch
a witch in the movie, and she's like a bartender. But it's like I said, a solid D&D film, like a good sword and sorcery.
But it's modern.
It's modern. Oh. It mixes the modern with that. So
I can tell you one that totally bombed, but I enjoy is Seventh Son. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yep.
That is a bad movie, but it's not bad movie. Like
I liked it a lot. I
too. I'm not. I'm gonna be with you on that one. It's a bad movie, but it's not a bad movie. Like it's not like the Dungeons and Dragons first with Damon Wayans. Oh no, Marlon Wayans as the bard. There's certain, even the modern D&D movie that came out, like the new one with Hugh Jackman and Chris Pine, that was a good sword and sorcery movie. I think it's good because it's so popular, capitalizing off the popularity of Baldur's Gate.
I would say okay, but
it was good. Hey, listen, I got to see Eric Roca in it. Exactly.
It was better than the other two Dungeons and Dragons movies that they did.
I mean, but he's right. When you think about it, you know what? Outside of Lord of the Rings, and it's sporadic.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider like what we were getting like in the late 70s and the 80s in terms of sword and sorcery. Like it was all over. Like, every year we were getting sword and sorcery, and now it's like,
I mean, like
very, very rare.
if you look at like some of like the 40s and the 50s, you had nothing but swashbuckler films back then.
Yeah, I mean, it all goes in
You know?
phases. Like
Yeah.
you guys were saying, right now it's superheroes, and yeah, but I'd love to see like a good Western or a good, sword and sorcery or good, like some of that stuff. Just I don't know, you just don't get now.
Did you hear about the new Western that Pedro Pascal's doing?
Mm-mm.
So there's a modern day Western. It's A24, which I love those things. Those are really sometimes hit or miss films, but it's a modern day Western with like Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal.
Oh, I saw the trailer for it. I know what you're talking about now.
I sent it to our group. I was like blown away. Like I sat down and it's just like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Pedro's like the mayor of a town.
And kind of like
kind of a
weird
Texas town. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Yellowstone with a lot darker kind of tone to it. It seems good. Like I'll check it out. But you're right. Like I used to 310 to Yuma. We even had the Western craze. Yeah, we had the 310 to Yuma. I was just talking to my brother about this the other night. The Revenant. We haven't had a good kind of like that folk hero going against the elements, nature, and like some sort of aboriginal group of people. I wouldn't mind seeing that. What do you guys think in the chat? Is that something y'all would want to see? Because I know that's something I would like to see. But
I think anything like that would be cool.
It's rare.
Another sorry to my brain bouncing around, but like when we were talking about the kids' adventures, another one I thought about was Hook. That was a really fun one.
Good one.
I didn't even think
when you're talking about like the kids and just being in that situation that normally you wouldn't expect kids to be in, but it's more kind of adult situation, but with kids. Yeah. I mean, Rufio going against Hook, like, dude, holy cow.
Right there. Rufio's, I actually have his autograph right up there hanging on my wall.
Oh yeah.
And it's the Rufio photo because I actually got it from one of those blind boxes from like 10 some odd years ago, and it was an autograph of him, so I have that hanging up as him and Rufio. I mean, that's an iconic film. I mean,
yeah.
And it's plagued with Easter eggs and cameos like people wouldn't believe if they knew, like Carrie Fisher and George Lucas on the bridge when Peter is being carried off in the beginning. There's a couple kissing on it's them. You got Glenn Close as one of the pirates.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
That's cool. I always find it funny when I go back and watch some of these older films and then I see like, pretty popular actors or actresses that you're like, they're playing a bit part that you never even realized.
I mean, Bob Hoskins was great as Smee. He was friggin' amazing.
I mean, again, for everybody that's watched this, and I've seen, and I kind of knew, Curtis, one of the big draws about inviting you onto the show was because I've watched the other stuff you do, and I know you are a bit of a cinephile, would be what I'd like to. I call myself that because honestly, it's the one thing outside of figures I collect. Like, I will hunt down a steelbook of a good movie. Like, my wife just got me for Father's Day because I saw it today. I was supposed to open the Amazon box. Goodfellas, one of my absolute favorite like mobster movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that, like, if I could have it in, actual raw form, not the digital cloud BS, just I could pop it into a Blu-ray player and just watch the physical media. There's something about it. Or get the Criterion editions of like a Kurosawa film. Like, there's certain things you need to have. And I think certain physical media you need to watch. And like, I think like we all digest things differently. Figures for one, comic books for the other, books. But I caught what you do. I was like, oh, this dude knows his movies. I like this. I can pick his brain.
I definitely watch a lot of series and a lot of movies for sure. So,
and I love it because you definitely when I've heard the debates you've had with your co-host. I love hearing the level of enthusiasm. It's something that you can't replicate. Like Dave and I get into these heated debates. We'll talk 3-4 hours on the phone randomly about movies, and people are like, y'all should just video, hence why the birth of this channel. You know, and then with the idea of having somebody else sharing that passion, that's what I really love. And it felt really good. You really took me down a great like memory lane, dude, like of classics that I would never have even thought to really like. I mean, Clash of the Titans, yes, most definitely. But like you might have made me want to rewatch Beastmaster. I maybe rewatch.
There you go.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, when you hit me with the genre and movie, I'm like, wow, okay. So then I had to think about it, and then I'm like, well, what would be those top ones for me? And so yeah, you made me have to think about it a bit. So I appreciate that too.
Hey, anytime. Like
I'm definitely gonna have to revisit some of these. So
Yeah, but Dre, I mean, you got John Amos, Mark Singer, Tanya Roberts, Rip Torn. I mean, when can you think of Rip Torn in a movie?
Dodgeball.
Well, like in a fantasy film. Yeah, exactly. This is like the only one he's done.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I mean, we see him as kind of the Jack Wagon, as Zed in Men in Black. We saw him in the terrible RoboCop 3.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, he's he's a great character actor, but it was like he was the big bad minister, evil minister warlock in this film. I mean, Kodo and Podo. I mean, that made you want to get ferrets. Let's be honest. We all wanted friggin' ferrets after that film.
I dated a girl that had ferrets. No, I do not. Those things stink to high hell. Their musk that they let out they're super cute, very intelligent, but damn, they smell like god awful.
But it was a great concept. You had this, this young warrior who he was linked to animals. He could use their senses and strength. I mean, it was Brave Star.
I was gonna say that's Brave Star.
Yeah, it was Sword and Sorcery Brave Star before Brave Star. So there. I mean, to me, it's one of those things where you can just like Dre talks about I know Dre loves the Conan movies. He can get lost in them. But this would be like a universe that like I can just get lost in. And yes, I do.
It's Hyboria.
I do enjoy the second one, Beastmaster Through the Portal of Time, where he goes like the modern day LA. He's because he's after like the big bad this time around, who happens to be his actual brother, believe it or not.
Yeah,
and you get what? And
that's not for me.
And of course, you get the evil witch who's played by what's her name that played Ursa in Superman 1 and 2. She was in there.
Yeah, she plays in a lot of stuff nowadays. Like people have slept on her. I actually look forward to seeing. Like I've seen her do a couple of other roles, like more modern stuff. But when it's her fantasy stuff, I really and the sci-fi stuff she does, I really.
She was in was it Conan the Destroyer? I think it was. Yep. But yeah, I mean, it's just fun. I mean, the thing is with these movies, you're supposed to suspend even if it's not the greatest dialogue, or you can see, some of the wire effects or some of the gags you can see. Just have fun with it, and just get lost in those worlds. That's what I'm about. I mean, like Clash of the Titans, all the Harryhausen films.
Oh, those are great.
All of them. Like Curtis said, the Sinbad films. I mean, that's all my dad would watch.
Brick has said it several times how much he loves the house and stuff, and we've had it. Brick's a regular on the channel, and he absolutely loves that era. And he's even said it's a lost art form to kind of film in that style. Think of Nightmare Before Christmas was the last time that I can think of somebody going to that level of detail, Coraline, where you use stop motion. That was mostly CGI.
Corpse Ride?
Yeah. Mostly CGI. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think to get that level of depth, to get that level of you said it best, Dave. There's practical effects that makes it scary. Atmosphere, music. Like, Jaws is scary because if you are like me, I'm terrified of the ocean. I will step foot where I can see my feet in the sand. That is as far as my ass will go. Because in my head, and I live in North Carolina, Shark Alley.
Dude,
My ass is not getting eaten.
I won't go into a swimming pool late at night.
Facts.
You know,
You remind me of a meme I saw. I might have to send it to you, Curtis. He said, "An irrational childhood fear: a great white shark that's huge, the size of a bus, in a swimming pool."
Yep.
But you're right, though. Like I have to look twice.
And you can sit there and tell yourself, like, obviously there's no sharks in the pool. First of all, it's not salt water. Second of all, that wouldn't fit. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But I'm still not getting in a pool and when it's dark.
Oh, yeah.
That's just not happening.
It's that fear that hits, and it's something that I think legitimately is lost in the aesthetic of what like of that practicality, like the birds and or like classic like Psycho, Misery. You know, there's something lost in that art form of setting you up to then have the story twist. You know, yeah, like all the practical, like aliens, like, yo, one ugly motherfucker. Yeah, I can love that shit, and that's funny. But it's not scary to me. Scary is like The Conjuring. Like, I'll never forget, there's a one scene in The Conjuring that I die laughing because I was in the theater, and I might have been a little, had a little bit of some adult libations at that time. And I was with a bunch of my friends, and we were watching it, and my friends all know I'm superstitious. I'm all into like witchcraft and all that sort of like spirits and all that stuff. And I'm sitting there, and I remember when she's like, the light's on the stairs, and she's like, "You can make all the noise you want. I'm not afraid." And then that door behind her fucking slams her down, and she flies down the steps. My brain says, "Are you stupid to yell down the stairs at some unknown entity that can just rip you up and leave you dead?" But you're like, "No, I'm gonna yell on the stairs because I'm not afraid anymore." And then you get slapped by the door. I busted out laughing in the middle of the theater. You know, but
I mean,
wait,
you know, just think of the rules of horror movies when it comes to you know, like in Scream. You don't say you'll be right back.
because you won't be
You know,
right back.
if there's a flashlight and a knife, you grab the damn knife. That's what you do.
Oh no, most definitely. What was it here? Conjuring? You never seen The Conjuring, the James Wan universe? That's like now spawned, you know, the whole franchise of like Annabelle, The Nun, The Conjuring 2 and 3. And actually now the final Conjuring film, which looks amazing. We're getting this August. So I cannot absolutely wait for that film. That universe, it's loosely based on their actual stories, because they actually James Wan is huge into that lore and has actually studied like gone to their houses to James, to the James's house. I forgot the actual James and Elaine or Lorraine. They've gone to their houses like and interviewed their children, their grandchildren. You know, if you believe in it and superstition, you never know. I don't know. I mean, it's a whole the Warrens. Thank you. It was on the tip of my tongue. But again, we could sit here and talk about this stuff for hours because I love this sort of stuff, and I love you guys for just interacting and giving us the actual love. I mean, again, Curtis took me and Dave down this great thing, which now we got to bring you back, Curtis. Now we just got to pick a different day to get you back, or maybe we go head to head again. Who knows? But so
I mean, we could do sci-fi, we can do westerns, we can do some.
I actually want to do some topics that we don't talk about, like westerns,
hair growth. What?
Hey, listen, I'm bald and beautiful, baby. I own that shit. So we could do mafia. We never really talk about mob movies. We could talk about westerns. We could talk about, you know, any number. You guys can pick it, because I'd love to have Curtis come back and run this back again, because this was fun.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this.
I like just about any kind of movie. I mean, I don't like every movie, but there's like any genre. I mean, whether it's, you know, romantic comedies or, you know, like you said, mob movies, westerns, you know, sci-fi. I mean, dude, space sci-fi, my absolute jam. But yeah, I mean, I can talk anything. So,
see, I will read his sci-fi list was pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie. I have his sci-fi list on my phone here. I'm gonna give you guys his sci-fi list before we start wrapping up. So his sci-fi list which was Dave and I had some pretty. These are good. His sci-fi list, folks. The Last Starfighter. Everybody on this channel knows how much this guy below me loves it. He absolutely loves
Damn
Last
friggin'
Starfighter.
straight.
Then you have one of my absolute favorites, Galaxy Quest.
Love
Who
it.
does
Love
not
Quest.
freaking love Galaxy Quest?
It's the best Star Trek movie ever made. What?
Ooh, I don't know.
Damn, Dave. Hot take much?
I would say that it's
What the-
better than all the Star Trek movies. I'll give you that, but it's not a Star Trek movie. I love Star Trek too much to call it a Star Trek movie. But it's I enjoy Galaxy Quest so much, man. I didn't watch it when it first came out, and I regret it because I thought it was like the Spaceballs of Star Trek. Like I thought that they were going to be making fun of Star Trek. And I love Star Trek too much to watch something that's making fun of it. And then you watch it and you realize that it's not making fun of Star Trek. Like it's got a heart of its own and a story of its own to tell. And it's just so good, man.
Yeah.
It is so freaking good.
I
It
mean,
really is.
Chill Mitchell is basically that's our Wesley from Next Generation. Is Will Wheaton basically. I think that was one of the last film roles he appeared in before he had his car accident that
Probably.
paralyzed him.
Probably. I haven't seen. I haven't. Like I said, that's a whole different story. But I will finish off his list before you go on, Dave. One last movie, which I know you love this movie, Dave. This is all for you, buddy. I bet you could guess it, Dave. Sci-fi, one of your favorites.
You know, I got about 5,000 favorites. Got to narrow it down a little bit more than that.
It's. Oh, we've talked about it recently.
Okay.
It's got the best soundtrack of all the sci-fi movies. Damn, if that doesn't give it away, dude, at that point, I'm gonna have to rethink my co-host. Curtis, you free? You gonna be free on Fridays?
I guess you're rethinking.
How about Queen?
Oh, Flash.
See, I didn't want to
Flash
say
Gordon.
that. Like if I said, I think the best
I'm like-
soundtrack of every sci-fi movie ever. You know that should have narrowed it down to just
Yeah, but see, I'm a person who used to collect like the score instrumental soundtracks to movies. So I mean, that can
And
cover
John
a lot of
Williams.
movies. So
That would have been how many people? It would have been John Williams, Danny Elfman, or freaking Daft Punk if you really throw in Tron, and and Queen.
but yeah,
But yeah, Flash Gordon, another classic. That
Actually,
that I absolutely
Drake,
love.
guess who's coming to Nickel City Con the end of the month?
Daft Punk.
Nope, Flash himself.
Oh, nice.
They had a
So,
couple of cancellations and they pulled out. They got him coming to town. So I might have to bring a
Get the
DVD and
NECA?
get him to sign it.
ooh, that
Very
would be
nice.
cool. So at this point of the show, guys and girls that watch the show, and if you catch it on the replay, awesome. This is that point where we get like Curtis we talk about what he does, like we're not just what he does, but like what he has coming up like in the pipeline. What is like where to watch him, where he's gonna be at possibly this weekend, because
Where to watch him for the next 7 days.
Exactly.
7 days.
Yeah.
So Curtis, go ahead, sell your shit. Tell us
All
what you
right.
got.
Well, like I said, I'm on YouTube pretty much every night. Like after this is done, I'll probably be over on Offworld. Tomorrow, I don't think I got any. I've got some. I'm recording some stuff for tomorrow, but I'm not doing anything live tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night, I'll be on the Purple Gang channel. They got a live they do on Saturday night, so I'll be on there. And then afterwards, I'll be on Oz's Clubhouse.
Nice.
And then Sunday, I've got Shooting the Shelf with Jesse over on the Just Shelve It channel. And then Monday is I've got a little series on my channel, on the Art by Ackerman channel there, that's called How'd They Do That? And that's where I talk to artists in the community about, either a certain style of custom they do or dios or photography or whatever. And that drops every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So I'll have one of those drop in this Monday and every Monday. And then throughout the week, I'll just have different videos. I do reviews on Legion's figures, and I do what's called an exploded figure review. So I basically take every piece apart that makes up a Legion figure, every piece of armor, every joint, every everything, and go through it with a fine tooth comb and show every single part and how they could be used in certain customs and, anything you need to be aware of if you're popping and swapping and that kind of thing. So those just drop occasionally. They take a long time because I'm basically blowing up a figure and then putting it back together. So they take a long time to record, edit, post. So, usually can get maybe one out a week or one every couple weeks. And then when I'm on the road, which I will be this week, I try to get a travel toy, and I've started a new recording that I do for that, where I just it's kind of like a toy hunt video where I'm going through stores wherever I'm traveling. So this week I'm going to Jackson, Illinois and DeQuoin, Illinois. So I'll be looking for a travel toy, and I'll record that and hopefully post that by the end of the week. So just
cool.
a lot of different stuff. I'm sure there's like several other things that I'm forgetting. But as far as customizing goes, like the main stuff is on my channel, the Art by Ackerman channel. And then other than that, I'm just on various YouTube channels throughout the week. So
most definitely. I love it. And he is definitely, folks, y'all know you're always welcome to come back. We will definitely be trying to get you scheduled in, possibly after your summer. I'm presuming you're going to hit the contour a little bit maybe this summer, or no?
I've just got two. I've got Joe Lanta coming up the end of September, and then Legion's Con's the big one for us. That's in November. So that's the one you got to go to every year if you're a Legion's fan. So yeah, but I mean, really, Fridays aren't normally good for me because, like I said, my other show's going on right now. But if there's any other time that you guys want me on for something, just hit me up and I'll definitely join you guys.
You've made an impression.
Recorded.
We do pre-records, but you know what? You've made an impression that I think we can accommodate a different day because listen, you took me down memory lane. You exposed me to a film I've never heard of. My friend, you definitely earned
I put one on my list too. So you got Cloak and Dagger to watch, and I've got Last Witch Hunter. Oh, and I put Explorers down too. So I've got both of those to watch.
Yeah. You have warped Dre's fragile little mind.
I'm really honestly I'm impressed. It's like it takes a lot. Like Dave is one of those few friends I have that really could throw a movie at me, and I'm like, you just impressed me, my friend. Like you threw a I'm like, oh, okay, and then you're making me rewatch Beastmaster again just to kind of see that.
Here's the thing though that I think is really hard with that stuff though, right? Like I'll take a perfect example, Monster Squad. I love Monster Squad. Watched it when I was a kid, grew up with it, whatever. I've got some friends that never saw it when they grew up, and I've recommended that they watch it. But if you watch it now as an adult and you didn't grow up with it, it just hits different, Mm-hmm. So, while I love Cloak and Dagger, I think it's a great movie. I grew up with it. So you may watch it as an adult.
VHS too, so
yeah, you may watch it as an adult and go, man, I don't see what these guys are seeing. So I'm just just kind of forewarned. Like I think sometimes, and I think this is a problem with Star Wars fans. I say this all the time. Like Star Wars fans are so freaking spoiled. They get so much content, right? And they just complain about all of it. And sometimes I gotta ask people, like, is it this version of Star Wars is really that bad, or is it because you're not a kid anymore? Would 5-year-old you hate this as much as you hate it, or would 5-year-old you really love this? Because I think a lot of us, if we were 5-6 years old watching like Acolyte or Skeleton Crew, we'd be like, this is awesome, this is so cool, but we watch it as adults and we're like, well, this doesn't make sense and they shouldn't do that and blah blah blah. It's like, just calm down for a second, just take all that out of it,
take a deep breath,
try to channel your inner child and just watch something. So
I think it's easier for some of us, and this is something I know Brick and I've talked about it, Dave and I've talked about it. Now you and I've talked about it with Dave. I put things through that lens of her.
Yeah.
Because she loves Spider-Man. My wife has said it. And my wife has said it. My mother-in-law's like, why does she love superheroes? Like she's, and I've had to deal with the whole like, oh, she's a girl, she should love like girly stuff. And I'm like, no, she loves what she loves. And then my wife's like, you do realize that she's been with you ever since birth. You love superheroes. It bled into what she loves. Today, like I said, I told her, I said, good parenting I did. I said, 4 letters, 1 word. And she goes, yeet. Like she knows because she watches wrestling with me what to do from that exposure.
Well-
And I think that that's a cool parenting thing. So I try to always put it through her lens first. Like if she would sit with me and watch this, I could definitely enjoy it. At least give it that college shot to see if I'm gonna like it. If I don't like it, then on its merit, then I can blame it on other things. But I'll watch it. Like I like the premise already. The fact it's a father and son kind of thing. I definitely want to check it out.
Now, the nerd in me wants to do this, wants to compare this. Dre knows I'm a big Doctor Who fan.
Okay.
And the doctor has even said, he says, yes, I've been to this place before, in this place before, but I haven't seen it through this eyes or with you, talking to his companion. It's like, hey, if you've been to, let's say you've been to Disney a bunch of times, but now you bring a friend who's never been, and now you're seeing their reactions. You're getting to experience all over again, but in a fresh, new way. And that's the thing. It's like Star Wars, or let's say Star Trek. Okay, you love Star Trek stuff. Now you get a kid or a friend who's never seen it, and they're watching and they're enjoying it. You're getting a kick out of that because one is something you love, but now you're getting to see their actions, and you might get now you're going to get their takeaways from it. You know?
Oh yeah.
And that's
I mean, I've got one of my daughters is, like I said, super into wrestling. She's a huge CM Punk fan. She's got figures up in her room and stuff. And I'm like most of my kids had nothing to do with toys growing up. They didn't care. They didn't care about toys at all. So to have one that like enjoys wrestling and it's like, I probably wouldn't be watching wrestling right now if it wasn't for the fact that my kid is really enjoying wrestling. Right. So, all that stuff keeps you young. So
I love that. And see, that warms my heart to hear that because like my teen, she's gone with me. She's seen SmackDown. I took her to SmackDown last year. And that's like right after the Rocket slapped Cody. And so she was like, she had watched it on YouTube and she's like, oh, we're going to see The Rock. I said, probably not here in Charlotte. And we saw Cody, and I've already watched AEW. I've seen so many Cody matches. Like getting to see him in WWE was just amazing. And I was like, I want to take her, but she's still sensitive to like really loud sounds. So I was like, probably not yet. But she watches it with me at home and is definitely interested. So again, it's like we have nieces and nephews. My nephew's a huge gamer because my brother-in-law, myself, and my other brother, we play together. So it's like you can see it permeate through the people we love. They pick up the interest because they want to be a part of that circle, like we were when we were kids. Like I had an uncle that used to draw Conan comic books, so that helped. My dad was already a comic book fan. My uncle likes it. It's like, oh, cool! I got someone to talk to at that family party where I'm feeling like the outcast. I can be like, hey, what's that guy that you're drawing? Like, what's that world he lives in? Oh, it's Hyboria, and it's like, oh shit, what's that? And then you start telling me the lore. That's how we kind of do it with our kids too. Like, hey, what's that? Well, Spider-Man is, bit by a radioactive spider, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of love that we have that love we could share. Yeah. So
for sure.
Now, Dave, I know you have a lot of stuff on your plate coming up. Do you have anything that you would like to share with the group?
This week, depends on a certain person's schedule that I have to speak with. Probably going to be going live Tuesday. No, not you.
Okay. I was like,
no,
I'm like, is it me?
El Presidente.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be depending on his availability. Because we had talked about possibly doing a full breakdown of Ghostbusters Day and also talking about the new the Hasbro Proton Pack that's coming out, the non-HasLab, let's be honest. So we wanted to break down some of that stuff and do our nerd talk and kind of catch and decompress, because that was an amazing day this past year. New records were broken for her fundraising, and already the plans are in the works for Ghostbusters Day next year. Nice. Year number 6. So
very cool.
Yeah, and also, I still have to film some updates with the Flux Pack, of course, Trey. So because I'm doing a Back to the Future Proton Pack because the Fan Expo nearest to me is going to have both Michael J. Fox and Chris Lloyd.
Bucket list for him. For anybody that does not know, Dave is as long as I've known him, there's 2 fandoms. Number 1, Back to the Future. Number 2, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Accept it, folks. And when you can combine the two, and he gets a bucket list to knock 2 people off that bucket list to meet, you do it.
Well, I did the Proton Pack 6 years ago, so now I get to build it 1-to-1 scale and bigger and better now.
Most definitely. And me, just for anybody that's wondered, like, why my channel kind of went silent recently, life happens. And I kind of posted a live video about it.
It'll hit you.
Yeah, like, as a parent, like, my wife's a school teacher. She was going crazy with the school year. I work from home, so it was crazy to deal with work from there. Our toddler's now getting ready to look to go. We're trying to homeschool her. The teenager's transferring high school. So it's like so much stuff was happening. So I've kind of put a lot of my energy and focus into what we do here. There are projects that are unedited sitting on my Mac right now that I need to edit and eventually we'll put up. There's like at least 20 videos I have done, but I need to like edit them, make the thumbnails. And folks, when you have like, you know, it's summer vacation, it's my Father's Day, my youngest's birthday, my wife's birthday, then my birthday, all in the span of 5 weeks. So, you know, I was like, hey, this summer is movies and then every week's a new movie I want to go see. So it's like, there will be shorts. I'll be doing a lot of shorts on my personal channel, but be expecting a lot of great work to come here. We are doing a great episode next week with Allison. We already scheduled her. If y'all know, she is pretty much a mainstay now with us here on our retro TV shows and remakes episodes that we do. And I have to send her the list. It's not 100% final, but it's about 99% finalized. The 4 episodes of the 4 shows that we're going to talk about. And, you know, we're going to do that. And again, I think the week after, so on the 27th, I sadly was going to have Travis, Mr. Wonderful. I have to reschedule with you because we're leaving the next day for the beach for the weekend. And it's a 3.5-hour drive. And because I have work, I would like to sleep early to get our family up early so we can get to the beach because it's her birthday weekend. So she turns 5 and she's never been to the beach. So I want to milk as much beach time as she can have. And that's what we're going to be doing.
Where are you located?
I'm in North Carolina, so I'm in Charlotte.
Oh, okay. You're right by Kent then.
Yeah, I've known Kent for years. We've never interacted in the same circles, but I know he lives in like the same. We've hunted in the same Targets and Walmarts.
Yeah. I see him doing the Charlotte Target and stuff all the time. So
yeah, so he's in my area. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to be going to Myrtle Beach, which I've never been at, or I should say never. I haven't been in 12 years since my mom passed. Because we took her before she passed away. So this will be the first time I'm actually going with a positive memory with my youngest, who's named after my mother. So what better way to like celebrate, you know, that passing than like having a new memory of her going to the beach. So it's her birthday. So we're all, and my wife.
That'd be fun.
Trust me, the family right now, we are so burnt out, like energy wise. We're like, we need a little 3-day kind of recharge. So we're looking forward to it. So I'll be recording some stuff like while we're there. I'll be supporting all my guys and girls. So I'll be watching you guys, but I'll be sitting on the beach enjoying that. So while y'all are having fun, I'll be sitting on the beach watching and commenting on your videos.
Editing 20 videos on the beach.
And I'll probably be editing a video or 2 on my laptop while I'm there. Because I did decide, I was like, we do have good Wi-Fi at the resort. So I may be doing that too.
There you go.
So I mean, and definitely looking forward to some shorts of watching Peanut get to play on the beach and just that stuff. So it'll be a lot of family fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, most def. But again, Curtis, love you, brother, for coming on. We thank you. We will definitely schedule you on a different day. We will work with your schedule to get you on again. Yep. You know, guys, definitely check out his channel. For anybody that does not support him, please do. We are huge lovers and supporters for the Mythic Legions crew. We've had the guys from Latin Legions. We have lots of guys from Clubhouse.
Love the Latin Legions guys. They're great.
Yeah, Tony and Mike and Matt and the rest of the crew. Yeah. Love you guys. Definitely, you know, come and support us all. We all are like, we all listen. We all play in the same sandbox. We all have a good time. We all love toys. Great community. Love the brother and sisterhood. Stay positive. Enjoy all the good stuff. Don't worry about the bullshit. Dave, take us on out, brother.
Guys, you know what we say every time. Dre always says, watch your head on the way out of the portal. And guys, as always, keep on busting. And we're going to catch you on the flip side, guys. Take care.
Peace, guys.
Dre and Dave hit it hard in the dark, spinning tales from the void, never bark. Movie shows, they tear apart. Dimensions clash, they ignite the spark.